You know, nobody asked me this, but I do imagine what I would say if people asked me, why do I like Big Mom so much? Why do I borderline obsess over her? You know, realistically, guys, you just need to know I am all for Big Mom video or discussion every single week. I end up refraining, sometimes this not being one of those times, but yeah, the desire is there. So my answer to this question, nobody asked me but myself. You know, to me, Big Mom is really damn interesting. There's just so much that is uncertain, so much to speculate on, and incredible potential. I don't think Big Mom is my favorite Yonko in terms of, I guess, you know, which character I like the most, you know, personality, design, you know, those characters who speak, and when they do so, I wet my pants. Big Mom ain't that. Instead, I'm blown away with Big Mom's role in the story, her relationships with other characters, her history, her future, or at least its possibility. You know, Shanks is awesome. This is like, I think, a typical one people would choose, but at surface level, you kind of know what you're getting there. At some point, maybe soon, he's gonna have a moment or moments that I absolutely know will blow me away, put me on the edge of my seat, maybe make me cry. You know, he's that kind of character you just idolize, man. I don't know. But at this point, there's a feeling that you know what he's gonna do. Big Mom, it's a whole lot of, you know, what she does changes the entire story. Big Mom is a fucking fulcrum, man. That's right, a fucking fulcrum. Google it. That's what she is. Depending on where she's placed on the lever, the bar tips, and the story drastically changes. I guess I'm just a guy who's into fulcrums, you know? Hey YouTube, Joe Boy here. So, yeah, long pointless intro aside, you guys know this, you gotta have an intro. Today I want to talk about Big Mom, explore an old but interesting theory and how it relates to speculations that we have recently made on this channel, as well as at the very end briefly talk about another theory I just can't help but mention once you lay down all the clues. But the main portion of this theory is going to connect Big Mom and Cypherpole and add some more depth to the promise Big Mom has in the story. So let's begin with Big Mom's flashback in Whole Cake Island. I encourage everyone to read and be familiar with this flashback, not only for, you know, this theory, but just in general, because it just might be the most illuminating 3 to 4 chapters you are going to find in the story relating to Big Mom and who she actually is in her heart, and what her goals are, her real goals, and why. This is going to start off sounding like a review of the actual events and less like a theory, but I want to make sure that everybody understands all the, you know, what exactly happened. But yeah, Big Mom's past and Mother Carmel, that's where we want to focus. Big Mom, from when she was very young, was a handful to raise. You know, one of the chapters in her flashback was titled Natural Born Destroyer, and I think that that's honest and fair. Born invulnerable with freakish strength and an innocence, or what, you know, some people would call stupidity, to match that. So her parents decide that they can't handle her and leave her, abandon her to Elbaf, the land of giants, in the hope that the famous Holy Mother, Mother Carmel, takes her in, rehabilitates her, and finds her a good home. So we first see Carmel in this way. Before she was called Mother, she was called Sister Carmel. After Dory and Brogy started their century-long duel in Little Garden, the remaining members of the giant warrior pirates were captured and scheduled for execution. Sister Carmel appeared at this execution and advocated for their release. If they were killed, she said, the nations of giants would strike back, declare war. Carmel assured the people that there was a peaceful solution, and as if in confirmation, the heavens responded to her plea. So moved by the moment, the giants were freed, and Carmel became their hero. Soon after, moving to Elbaf, land of the giants, where perhaps, you know, no humans before her were allowed to live previously. And she opened an orphan house and took in all that were dropped on her doorstep, regardless of situation, race, or hardship. But of course, in typical Oda fashion, not all was as it seemed. Sister Carmel's appearance at this execution was all a plot coordinated between her and the government. They never intended to execute the giant warrior pirates. The goal here was to get someone on the inside into Elbaf and find a way to recruit giants into the world government and marines. And Mother Carmel did just that. The orphan house became a house of child trafficking, a means by which Carmel could groom children to be purchased by the world government. Honestly, it seems like a tightly run ship that would have been difficult to expose, and as far as we know, it never was. So this gets us to Big Mom. In all of Carmel's years, taking in children and selling them, Big Mom was by far the strongest, with by far the most potential. Carmel even remarks that as a Marine, Big Mom was likely Admiral or Fleet Admiral level quality. She was worth a lot. Note for comparison here that any giants she sold to the world government ended up being at best vice admirals. We know of no admiral who was a giant, and we know of no giant who has the prospects to one day become an admiral. The government went out of their way, levels of deception, to be able to recruit giants who ended up as vice admirals, and Big Mom was looking like an admiral or a fleet admiral and was worth far more than that by a lot. Just so you guys understand her value and the world government's interest in her. So you read the story. Big Mom, just as before, was quite the handful, never intentionally hurting anyone, but somehow it always happened anyway. During the winter solstice festival while fasting, Big Mom finally broke, and experienced one of her uncontrollable rages, or what's later called hunger pangs, which she has no recollection of afterwards, and she has no control of herself during. She kills an ancient giant hero, Beardfall, and Carmel decides to choose Big Mom because of her value over staying in Elbaf and the prospects of potentially recruiting more giants. But I think at this point the clock really starts ticking. Throughout her life, everyone Big Mom ever encountered probably most likely feared her. And I don't think Carmel was any different. Probably just a few days after leaving Elbaf and settling on a new island, an island which would one day become Whole Cake Island, Carmel met with an agent of what appears to be CP0, at least they're wearing masks like CP0 does in the same white suits. And during this meeting, she sells Big Mom. No actual money is exchanged on this day, but we are led to believe, I think, that Big Mom's exchange or trade would happen soon. Guys, in my opinion, I think Carmel was ready to be done with Big Mom. Carmel surely thought having her around was a great danger, something most people, I think, would not disagree with. And I'd wager money Mother Carmel was going to get rid of her just as soon as she possibly could. And just as soon as Carmel receives the money she was asking for, Big Mom would be gone. So some amount of time passes after this meeting. It isn't clear exactly how much time, only that it was definitely, I would say, more than 3 days. And in my opinion, likely several weeks. Again, we will never be certain. We see a panel in which Carmel looks at Big Mom menacingly as she sleeps, and the fated day arrives that all of the Lamb House would vanish. Big Mom's 6th birthday. We don't actually get to see what happens, but we presume Big Mom accidentally ate Mother Carmel and the orphans. But it's in the ambiguity that I think that the community finds reason to speculate. Oda went through all this trouble of making it clear Big Mom was about to be sold soon to Cypherpole and the government. And the question I want to ask is this, guys. Was Cypherpole present on the day Mother Carmel died? And if so, how would that be significant? Was this the day Carmel had arranged to sell Big Mom? And was she moments away from this trade? Guys, although it's different in the manga, in the anime, this is 100% the case. Here, I'll play the clip for you.
明日リンリンと一緒に残りのガキも海軍に引き渡せば全部終わりだ。たくさんお祝いしてやるよ、リンリン。
Mother Carmel was going to hand over Big Mom on the day of her birthday. In a recent theory, we talked about the potential Cypherpole has within the Wano arc. I'll go ahead and include it in the link in the description, but the idea is pretty straightforward. The government, celestial dragons, and Cypherpole buy weapons from Orochi, Kaido, and Wano. In the past, this was through the broker Joker, but now that he is gone and captured, this deal has become direct. And in a play for power, Orochi is using the situation to ask for even more than he had prior. Now, if the government wants these weapons that appear to be very important, they must give Orochi Vegapunk. Long story short, guys, I don't think that the government wants to give up Vegapunk. They will have to come up with some kind of plan themselves. Essentially, the idea is that we have not seen the last of Cypherpole in Wano. They will concoct their own scheme and arrive in Wano in order to do something. It really doesn't matter what this specific thing is, only that they will be here. And perhaps even beyond the weapons that they are interested in, there also remains the problem of the Big Mom and Kaido alliance, the Yonko alliance. They don't have enough Marines right now for a straight up fight. A frontal assault, as it were. Kind of the same problem that the Samurai Mink Pirate Alliance has at this moment. They need some kind of sneaky plan. And it would just make sense that that would involve Cypherpole. And I think that it's kind of interesting to think about how Oda could layer this. Well, these scabbards are using the Straw Hats and the Kid Pirates and all these samurai as a distraction to their plan to kill Kaido, the government and Cypherpole might use this entire plan as a distraction to whatever they want to accomplish. And maybe that could involve an exploitable weakness we know that a current dangerous Yonko has. Let's go back to the Tea Party, guys. Capone Mastermind planned to defeat and kill Big Mom. He had seen it only once before, after someone accidentally knocked over the portrait of Mother Carmel. Big Mom screamed and she became vulnerable for the first time, possibly in her entire life. Something about Mother Carmel makes Big Mom become weak. So he thought he would use this again, and it likely would have worked if not for unforeseen circumstances. Just as Capone had witnessed before, after the portrait was destroyed, Big Mom was mortal. Her knee bled. And who else was there? The Straw Hats, yeah. The Big Mom Pirates, yeah. The Underworld, and CP0. Stussy was there to witness the whole thing. I just want to be straight with you guys. I think that Cypherpole and Stussy are incredibly intelligent and are the kinds of characters who can put 2 and 2 together. Capone has this plan to assassinate Big Mom. If Stussy's watching, that much is clear, and that plan was almost successful, and for some reason it involved the portrait of Mother Carmel. Cypherpole may know Big Mom's weakness, and at some point in the story might use that against her. As an aside, guys, I just want to take a moment to explain and discuss Big Mom's weakness, because I think that it's important to, really understanding what my ideas are here. I think that Big Mom's weakness, or her invulnerability, inability to take damage, has something to do with willpower and her dream. You know, I think it's pretty easy to confuse. I think Oda has intentionally misled us, if I'm honest. Big Mom's dream is not to create Totland and protect all of the races and eat sweets and cake and whatnot. Everyone believes that to be her dream, but they are slightly wrong. The reason Big Mom does all of these things is to make Mother Carmel happy. When Big Mom believes she returns to Whole Cake Island one day. Guys, the island Mother Carmel disappeared from all those years ago, Big Mom's 6th birthday, Big Mom ate Mother Carmel. That island is Whole Cake Island. That's clear enough from the topography, even though at the time it was not a land of sweets. This is another way of saying that, for the most part, Big Mom has never left. As Big Mom looked for Carmel after her death, Stroyzen appears and tells her something important, something that changed her life forever. Big Mom asked him what happened to Mother Carmel, where did she go, and Stroyzen says, she'll come back soon, I'm sure. For 63 years, Big Mom has believed that Mother Carmel would return to this island, and so Big Mom transformed it, in her own way, to what she thought Carmel had always wanted. A paradise where all the races live together in peace. Big Mom did all of this for Mother Carmel. She loved her that much. Why does she want to recruit one of every single type of race? Mother Carmel. My guess is that Big Mom looks forward to the opportunity to make her proud. Big Mom as an adult may be an idiot at times, may be simple-minded at times and operate based off of very simple principles, and sometimes she can be deluded. In fact, most of the time maybe she can be deluded, but she is not completely without intelligence and wits. Mother Carmel was old 63 years ago. People do not live forever, and I think that Big Mom understands as much. The more time has passed, the more likely that Mother Carmel will never return, or that she has already died. And there may even be a part of Big Mom which understands or realizes what must have occurred that day. Guys, I think that when the portrait of Mother Carmel was knocked over, it reminded Big Mom of the possibility that Mother Carmel was dead. The same when the portrait broke. It's almost symbolic in that way. I think that the significance of this is simple. If Carmel is dead, Big Mom's 63-year-old dream dies with her, along with her will to accomplish this dream. I'd like to relate this to Luffy. Luffy survived a whole lot of stuff he never should have in Impel Down and Marineford. And the reason given for this is that Luffy has tremendous life force or will to live. In actuality, Luffy refuses to die. And willpower is a tangible power in the One Piece world. You know, he is stronger because of it. I think that something similar is going on with Big Mom. She possesses tremendous natural willpower. She refuses to die or be injured, or she refuses to be weak before her dreams are accomplished, or before she can get whatever sweet that she wants. But again, as we see with Luffy after Marineford, despite everything he had already survived, he could have died. Ace was killed and something within Luffy broke. We like to think that Luffy dreams to be the Pirate King, but similar to Big Mom, that ain't quite it. Luffy dreams to be the freest. And along with this, I think Luffy dreams to acquire this freedom while protecting all of those who are important to him. Because what is the purpose of freedom if you have nobody that you can enjoy that freedom with? I think Ace's death shook Luffy's faith in his own ability to accomplish his dreams. I think after Ace died, Luffy had his own Big Mom moment of vulnerability. And it took some time in Jinbei's council for him to remember that he still had many friends he needs to protect and that it was not quite time for him to give up. But even with that realization later, that moment of vulnerability absolutely existed. That moment of questioning his own ability. So I guess my point is this: Big Mom becomes vulnerable the moment she thinks that, or realizes that, her dreams may be dead. That Mother Carmel is never returning. And I think that Cypherpole 1 knows her weakness. Stussy was at the tea party and may have been at the one prior. And 2, Cypherpole could even know the truth of what had happened to Mother Carmel 63 years in the past. And so guys, here's the thing. Even if a Cypherpole agent wasn't present on the day Mother Carmel died, Mother Carmel was part of the underworld, and her movements were surely tracked by the world government in Cypherpole. They would know for sure that she had died, because her last intention was to sell Big Mom and retire, which she never did. And even further than this, a random giant witnessed what had occurred that day and proceeded to skedaddle and inform the giant world, furthering their hatred of Big Mom on one hand, but also providing the government and Cypherpole a realistic way to inquire the intel of what had occurred on this day. Previously we argued, well, maybe all of this setup of Cypherpole and Mother Carmel communicating is all to lead to this moment where Big Mom blacks out, she eats Mother Carmel and the orphans, and Cypherpole is there to witness. But another way of looking at this, the very same way to be looking at this was the moment that the government became aware of the importance of Big Mom. During this meeting, Carmel explained that a 5-year-old Big Mom ravaged an entire village of giants by herself. Mother Carmel then disappears, and then a new force, a monster, is unleashed upon the new world, a child Big Mom. The government knows what happened to Mother Carmel. Big Mom killed her. That could be the point of the meeting between Cypherpole and Mother Carmel. The ability to put 2 and 2 together. They don't actually have to be there. So guys, going forward, if Big Mom ever became an actual threat to the government in whatever way, or someone, that might need to be dealt with, I think that Cypherpole has a realistic path to a plan that might actually work, or at least partially work, to defeat her. We assume that you need, the portrait of Mother Carmel in order to trigger Big Mom's episode. But I don't think so. I think simply by telling Big Mom, rationalizing to Big Mom that Carmel is dead and that you killed her, you would accomplish the very same thing. You don't need the portrait. All you need is the idea that the broken portrait conveys to Big Mom. What I'm saying, guys, is that Big Mom is killable with the right knowledge. Knowledge that the government could easily piece together if given the motivation to. Could the actions of Cypherpole and Wano lead to Big Mom's death? As a parallel to Marineford, the moment that Whitebeard gets stabbed through the belly by Squardo, a plot set in motion by his enemy Akainu, weaving lies to his son. In this case, it's almost as if Big Mom stabs herself through the belly because she is the one who killed Mother Carmel. And the one leading her to do this would be her enemy, Cypherpole. And their method of murder is not lies, but rather the truth. But the point of both of these situations is to begin the downfall of a Yonko of the old generation. But just to add on to this, I think some people take me a little bit too seriously sometimes. These are just theories, and even if they sound good, right, they're probably not likely right. At least not 100%. If you're looking to be right, it would be better in most cases to be more general than it would be to be specific. But if you did think that maybe, Big Mom being nerfed in this way, using her memories against her in order to defeat her, potentially even kill her, is not the right way for Big Mom to go, there's a lot of things that could happen after this which might change your opinion, including the idea that right now Big Mom has a child who has a power that's maybe the only power that would save her if she ever came to know the truth. Pudding has the ability to manipulate memories. If somebody uses Big Mom's memories to defeat her, or if Big Mom's memories just defeat her in general, Pudding can change those memories and bring Big Mom back, even if afterwards she may be nerfed. But you guys know that I'm heavily on the team that Big Mom dies at some point, probably in Wano in my opinion, so I'm all for being nerfed and sort of a path to lead to Big Mom's death. But this gets us to the second speculation, which is related because all of the clues are here, and it would just be, I mean, I could make an entirely separate video so that, you know, this one is about Big Mom and Cypherpole and we kind of stick to the point, and then the next one is about Big Mom and the Giants, but it's kind of the same theory. And again, we've already gone through all the evidences, so let's just continue forward and talk about another theory which is heavily related. In all honesty, this is another distinct possibility. Cypherpole should be able to guess as to what happened to Mother Carmel, but as to whether they know for sure the explicit details and actually use it against her, that's a theory. And in fact, I would call it a somewhat complicated theory. You know, if I'm honest. Usually I do find that the simple answer tends to be the right one. You know, what is the one group or one person on this planet who, one, for sure knows what happened to Mother Carmel, for sure, and two, for sure have reason to bring it up to her? That group is the Giants, and the person I'm talking about is Hydrogen, who also happens to be a member of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, which we presume would be present for the next great battle, Wano, the Straw Hats are a part of. Hydrogen should come to Wano, guys, along with all of the Grand Fleet. It's conflicts like this that they are most needed. This is, as Oda has said, hyped up Wano, the biggest, it makes Marineford go to shame. The Grand Fleet should be there. And guys, it's been established that Hydrogen hates Big Mom, possibly more than is normal for Giants, and that is a feat. She killed Beardfall, someone who Hydrogen looked up to immensely. Even as a youth, he dreamed to become a giant warrior pirate. Then after this, we are told explicitly, a giant witnessed the disappearance of Mother Carmel, or her death, Big Mom ate her, and returned to Elbaf to tell all of the Giants what occurred. In the land of Giants, the Holy Mother, Mother Carmel, was revered. They know for sure that Big Mom killed two very important heroes. If Hydrogen appears in the same arc as Big Mom, as a member of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet here in Wano, if he could in any way know that she was there or meet her, he will seek revenge. I understand that Big Mom previously sought an alliance with the Giants, and I doubt that they brought up all of their accusations to Big Mom's face at that time, but remember that deal was between Big Mom and Loki, King of the Giants, not between Elbaf, and not specifically with Hydrogen. I think that given the opportunity, Hydrogen confronts Big Mom, and in the process tells Big Mom that she killed Mother Carmel. And as we speculated in this theory, doing so, making her vulnerable in the middle of a great conflict. If this sequence were to occur, this is just likely to happen. It's a natural sequence of events. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much all I have to say today. As always, I'm curious as to what you guys think. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video if you liked the video, dislike the video if you disliked the video, subscribe if you want to be notified for my future content, and as always, guys, have a wonderful day.